that. Okay, so this is new indicator called MDAWN. Now, the purpose of this indicator or tool has a unique place. I mean, the purpose is unique, which fits well with MSwing within MClub feature. Now, as you know, that the MSwing has three fundamental features. One is it extract trend. Second, it provides the ranges, those wavy structure on the upside and the downside that you saw, right? Those rays. And thirdly, MSI. So using three different features, there are three problems that it solves. So the first is very simple and obvious that we want to know whether the direction is up or not. So it tries to extract trend for us. Secondly, the upper range and a lower range, those rays would tell us that what is the boundary beyond the primary support and resistance. And thirdly, the MSI, if the boundaries are touched often, then MSI would tell or indicate whether the trend is exhausted or slowing down in that direction. So these are the three features. So what I have been doing is I started with the trend extractor and then added those rays and MSI. After knowing that there is something missing or some of the scenarios which are not being addressed. Um, as you know, there is no end to the refinement and no end to the improvisation. So my effort, my continuous effort is in that direction, that how I can add value and how I can address something which is missing. So when I was going through MSwing, as you know, in stock, it's not a problem because most of the stocks are like having enough data compared to crypto, where so many crypto are new. So when the crypto are new, then of course the data are very limited. And if the data are very limited, means only few bars or candles, then you know that moving averages do not work well, and RSI do not work, MACD do not work, Bollinger Band would not work well. So many indicator oscillators would not work because there is not enough data. Now, to address this problem, I thought, let me find out something, and that something is in form of MDAWN. Right now, the MDAWN is an independent indicator because I would like you to try it out, test it out, and see how it works. If everybody likes it, then we'll embed this feature as the fourth feature as part of the MSwing. So that's why I gave initial context of MSwing, where it caters three different features. First, trend extractor. Second is the ranges it provides. Third, it provides whether it's exhausted or near exhausting, uh, near completion of that trend. And now this fourth one is where the data are insufficient, where MSwing might say that data are insufficient. You might have seen that um, message on the screen. So this indicator, which will be part of the plugin or feature eventually, will address that if we have very less data or limited data. Now, very less data could be for two reasons primarily. One is the asset is newly listed. That's why the data are very limited. Or you have enough data on daily, but when you, let's say, go on a higher time frame, let's say monthly, then of course the number of candles or bars would reduce. So the amount of data reduces that way because they get compressed. And that's why the indicator might not work. You might have seen that. So to address that problem, this indicator should help and find out support and resistance. Now, this is very simplistic approach that I have come up with. where basically I'll take some examples and walk you through. And of course, this is ongoing process where you will try out, ask question. I'll arrange a couple of sessions and we'll go through some examples, and that's how everybody would learn. So consider this as a training part, and this particular video is not necessarily the end of the training, but a beginning of the training. But here we'll try to cover as much as possible. So I'm just taking VLZ, which I had taken for my actual trade testing. So I wanted to know the next resistance for VLZ. So I was tracking at a weekly, and what I had done is in Dawn. Okay, so I think before the example, I must open the setup and explain you the meaning of all this. This is the version number. Everybody knows the first version. Um, this checkbox, when you enable it, it shows you the current candle count. Now, this is sometimes important. I'll tell you why, because in this indicator, you are going to provide input to the indicator, unlike MSwing where there's no input required, only selection of time frame. There is a reason because when you want to analyze support and resistance, in this case, you are going to give a reference. And that reference is provided using this start bar or candle. That means you'll give a number from where you want to start the wave. Or in other words, the wave would start at a specific point. Let's say this is a downside wave. Like this is the first one. So if I set it to 1, it will it will point to the first one, as you could see, first candle. So if you look at this wave, it went down, then a bounce, then a retest, and a bounce, and then another leg down. So clearly what you can see here is this was the beginning, and then later on, this was the rejection point. So if I want to set my index to this candle, I want to know which one is this. So of course, there is a limitation on TradingView where I would ideally what I would like to do is if I click on the candle, it will take that as input, but there is no such input capture feature. So we have to live with that, right? So we cannot do anything programmatically, basically. Otherwise, I would love to see that I can double click on this and it would start. So in here, we have to give a candle number, a bar number, and that's how it will move or point out, right? So if I want to move here, I would just move it by a few candles. And what you'll see, the prior candles are grayed out. So you know that it's here. And also there is a dot which will indicate where it stands. I mean, which one is the 17th candle. So this is the 17th candle, right? And also, as I said, the prior candles are grayed out, so you know that this is the one which you are setting. If I move it to 18, you see it moved by one candle. Now it is set here, and all the prior candles are grayed out. So you have clear vision that you want to start to see what is the resistance. If you put your start point at here. So this is what you do. So when it is going down, you are interested in both support and resistance. Now, so there are two options here. If you want to find resistance, you select resistance. If you want to find support, you'll find support. So first I'll show you the resistance. So if it is already going down and starts bouncing, you want to know the resistance. Now, why you want to know the resistance? The answer is simple, because you want to know that which point beyond it could change the direction. So if it is already going down, then you want to know that what is the level. If it crosses, then it could change the trend. Isn't it so? That's an obvious question. And that's why you would like to know the resistance. Basically, you would like to know the point of reversal. So the point of reversal, if you want to know at a wave level, then of course it has to be the topmost, because that is the, so in this case, not 18, but the number one. So in this case, if you want to trade, let's say this is, then at this stage in month of July, 0.174 was the requirement from the indicator, that if the price is above 0.1174, then the BLZ would reverse the trend. Okay. But sometimes what you want to know, that what is the immediate resistance. So if you want to know the immediate resistance, so then you have to fast move this marker or start point to the one that is closest. So I would move it to. So what I'm doing is basically, if this is the down, this is the data, I'm clearly seeing that this is the first leg down, and then a bounce, then second leg down. So I get two reference points, number 1 and 2, right? So if I want to know overall wave, then of course it has to be from the start. But if I want to know what is the immediate resistance, then then you set it to the second rejection point, which is this. You may set it here, or set it some here, but then this might come closer, which I'll show you. So, but point is, this is the real leg down. This is not a real leg down, because this particular downside move is still within this one. So this is little bit of understanding, which is not a big deal in my point of view. You can clearly see this is a leg down. Now this is also down, but this is not, we don't call it, this is a leg down, because this particular correction is within this boundary. I hope this is, so this correction is retest, we call retest of the low, but this is more like a child. This is not a leg down, right? This is a leg down, and then bounce, and then a correction, and then an attempt. This is an attempt, recovery attempt, we call, right? uh, but it is not making a new high, so we cannot say another leg up, right? This is still a child, like this is no different than this bounce. So this is little bit of understanding beyond the indicator, simple TA, very simple TA, that you need to understand, because without this basic understanding, uh, that you won't be able to use it. And I believe this is not very difficult. So when you look at this structure, there are two parts to it. One is this leg down, and then consolidation, and another leg down, and then consolidation. I hope this is clear. If not, you can always ask me offline, so I can clarify. So if I want to know overall, I mean ultimate resistance, then as I said, I would set at the first one. Then whatever value I get is the one required for reversal. uh, in this case. But if I want to know what is my immediate resistance with respect to my second stop leg down, then number is 0.1329. That's how it is. Okay. So this is a quick explanation. Now I'm going to the present scenario. Now, if you look at this one, now in this case, this was, so now we have one more downside leg, as you could see. So this was the first which I explained. This was the second which I had explained. Now this is the third one. So I purposefully went back in past to explain, so you can clearly see what are the legs. It is clearly. Now this is an upside move, you can see, and this is downside move. But again, this downside move is just a child, which is part of this move, as you could see. So maybe if I draw, it will make it more clearer. So this is a downside, this is a bounce, this is a downside. I'm just focusing on the closing, right? And then a bounce, and then another downside, and then a bounce, and then another downside. You see? So what we're seeing here is, and of course this is bounce, but not quite able to. So this is the first leg down, this is second leg down, this is third leg down, right? And we are not saying this is down, but we are not saying leg down because this particular move is part of this overall. So if this would have gone down, let's say like this, then yes, I would have called this as the fifth, but this is part of it, so it's not the fifth. So this is very simple thing, but still, if you think this is difficult, you may ask me, because sometimes what happens when we go at advanced level, I'm not saying MDON is for everyone. If MDON, if you think this is difficult, then it's okay. Whatever you have is fine. But there are always some users who are advanced. So you know that in the schools and in universities, there are classes like basic and then advanced, and there are grades or standards. So one class cannot have the same content, right? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give different contents for different types of users. Sometimes you need some understanding. So uh, some basic understanding is required. Right? Like even for using simple indicator, one has to understand basic thing, right? You cannot just start from day one like that. So MDON requires a little bit of understanding. Like MSI, if you have used it, it requires little understanding of what is called divergence. If you don't know the divergence, you cannot use MSI. In fact, the same is true with RSI, which is same thing. I mean, same family, right? So if you want to use RSI indicator, you have to understand what is divergence. So point is, any indicator or oscillator that you use, there is some kind of a prerequisite or some kind of basic knowledge that is needed for you to use it. Okay, so here I think I covered how you identify the legs. Now similarly, like upside, downside, there are upside. So if you do the line chart, it is sometimes clearer. So this is just for visualization point of view, not for usage, but visualization point of view. A leg down, another leg down, another leg down. You see clearly one, then two, and then three. So if your candle chart is confusing to identify the legs, then you change it to line chart, which will make it very easy visually because it removes the lows and highs because those spikes will go away and then you can clearly see. So now you can see one, two, three. And then this one, as you see, this low is, I mean, there's no new low. So that's why this is not the fifth. This is still part of the fourth, which is a bigger one like this. So this is the prerequisite. And now again, coming back to MDON. So this is, once you understand the structure, then what you can do is that you can set it on first one. If you are somewhere here, if you are somewhere here in the price, you set it on this one. And then now if you are somewhere here, then you set it on here. So that's the idea. Basically, you set it at the beginning or the place where it get rejected. So here is the starting point. Here it got rejected because this is where the leg is created. So first I explain the leg because then you will find out where the leg is created. Now you see this is the another leg and the leg was started here actually, right? Very easy. So this is the third point. And then there was a bounce, but not quite up. So this is still part of this. So this is a reference point if you want, but main reference points are this one, this one, this one, and this one. So if the price is here, I would like to see set it over here to see what is the resistance it has to break above. So what I had to do is I had to move it further. And why I gave this checkbox that it will show the 89. The last one is 89. So yeah, maybe I can change it to 2 week. What I have done is I have actually restricted to 50 candles for the, because the purpose is not to use this indicator for the uh, in, uh, for the asset which has already good enough data. So that's why. So I'm just changing to 2 week. Now what you see here is uh, the with the 2 week, it doesn't change anything. This is the first leg down. This is the second leg down. This is the third leg down, and this is still part of it. So it doesn't change anything with 2 week. And I restricted to 50 because this has to be used only for the data asset which with a very less amount of data for the two use cases I mentioned, when the asset is new or you track at a higher time frame, very higher time frame. That's why. Otherwise, the current version of MSwing to be used. Otherwise, what will happen if I give you more range or larger range, then if you start using this and you know that two indicator might give you different result, which is, you know that no two indicator give the same result or in terms of resistance support. So I don't want anyone to get confused that, hey, MDON is giving me this resistance and MSwing is giving me this resistance, the current version. Then I don't want that kind of situation. So whenever I'll plug this MDON, I'm going to actually disable the MSwing. So if you select MDON, it will disable the MSwing. But primarily MDON to be used only for the case where the data are very small like this, where MSwing would not work. So if I turn off this one and start, let's say MSwing, then you see there is very little information that you get. I mean, you do have some information, but let's say if you go on monthly, you get this insufficient data error that you get. So that's why, so when you get this kind of error, you go to MDON feature. Otherwise, you are supposed to use MSwing. That's the whole purpose. So maybe if I keep on monthly, right? So now you understood the concept. So if I turn on MSwing, it gives you this message. And that's why MDON is to be used in that case. So if I use this one, what I can do is I want to find out the next resistance where it can reverse. So when I check mark this one, it tells me how many candles it has. It has 21. So of course I had to set it somewhere where it got rejected. So you know that where it got rejected here. Yeah, it got rejected here. Very simple. And as I said, you can quickly change it to line chart to see this was the point of rejection. Yeah. I'll take a couple of more examples to make it more clearer. Don't worry. This has a lot of spikes, so it could be confusing. So I'm selecting on monthly time frame. Remember, if you use some RSI, let's say if you use RSI, right, then you get this chart. I have not changed anything. If you use monthly, RSI gives you this, and this gives you nothing. If you use MACD on monthly for this particular chart, it gives you nothing because there is not enough data. So similarly, if you use other indicator, it like unlikely to give you anything. So that's the whole purpose. So when the indicators cannot provide the data, I mean analysis, then MDON could provide that analysis. So that's the whole idea. Okay. So on this 1 month, this was the, let's say when I say 1 month, then it changes the structure, but I would keep it 1 month, because then it will align that MSwing cannot work with 1 month, which is fine. Like many other indicators do not work, but then this would work. So I would set it here. If I set it here, you see the resistance is here. So that means if it can close above, remember it has to close above, then this BLZ would reverse. So this is simple usage. So when it is going downward, you would like to know If you want to know where it might reverse, you set it. The Sorry, if you want to know the immediate resistance, you set it to the immediate leg. If you want to know from the beginning, then you set it to the beginning. So if I set it to the first one, then the resistance will go higher, and then this is the final one, 1471, as per the structure. Okay, so this is how it is. So I can take some more example. Maybe I'll just take a link. Um, okay. Now if you look at link, 72 candles in on a monthly chart. Again, RSI and MACD would give you something definitely, but the purpose is not to compare with them, of course. Let me see if I get even M swing will give you something. As you can see, the nice uptrend. Maybe I should change it to linear graph. You see, there's a nice uptrend it gives you, and then nice resistance. So it's not that M swing cannot, but what if I change it to quarterly? Then it cannot. Then what about RSI? Not much. What about MACD? Nothing. So this is the use case. The point is, when you have not enough data and you want to track at a higher time frame, um, or yeah, high time frame, that's where you will use it. So if I want to use it over here, I'll change back to logarithmic scale. So if you want to know what is the, so now here there's one leg only on a quarterly time frame, like this, a one leg down. If you look at this one, there are two legs up, one and two, and one leg down. So this has everything, like right from the inception, like 2017 on Coinbase. Maybe some other exchange might have little more data, but let's stick to this one for now. So in this case, there are two legs, one and two, and then there's one leg down. So I purposefully change it to line chart to show you that, to visualize how many legs are there. I'll go back. So now you know that this is a leg down. So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to move. So there are 25. So that means this must be around 18. Around 18. So it's just to just get an idea. So it's 60. Fine. So you see, that's why I have this show candle bar. So because sometimes you can jump it. You don't want to incrementally say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and move. If you want to jump, it will show you if this is closer. That's why I gave you this feature. So you know that what is the last candle. You know this is the first candle. And you know this is the last one, but you don't know the number. So that's why I have this small feature. So you know the number. So if you want to set it here, so it must be around 10 candles here and there. So that's how you come to know. So I want to know the resistance from where it will reverse the trend, the mega trend, okay? And it gives me this number, okay? Because I'm setting on the top of it. So when it breaks about 21, let's say 0.9, then it will make new all-time high, ultimate resistance. Of course, you can, if there was another leg down, then it would have given. Now, if you want to know that while it was here, let's say while it was here in past, what was my support? So I can change it to this one and start with uh, candle number 4, which is this one. Okay, so maybe I have to go back in past to simulate this one. This is my support. You see, this is my support because I'm starting this wave here. This is my support, and the support will go up as it progresses. You see, the wave is progressing. My support is here, and then after the candle, the support should go up as well. which is like a trailing support. You see the support, it has gone up. This is my trailing support. The supports are dynamic, that's for sure. Maybe I can make it a little fast. Yeah, so support. Now the next candle, a little more faster. You see the it's consolidating and the support is going up. So this is important only for the initial phase. As I said, when you have this kind of initial phase, when there is no indicator, so if you look at other indicator and there is no RSI, there is no MACD, you see, they're not able to provide anything. Now, if I pause, you see that it is this support is actually set to the consolidation, which is absolutely right, because this is the point. Let's say it started moving up, so naturally this is the initial support. When it goes up, the support is somewhere here and goes up, you saw that. And when it is when it consolidated and created another leg up, so remember this is first leg and now this is second leg in making. So this support has moved from here to here. So this is what you need to know initially, right? Of course, when you have enough data, then you use the current M swing feature, and you don't need this. But and so I hope you understand that why this indicator is needed. Because first of all, this is not in a competition or comparing to what you have right now, whether as part of M swing. This is only for the case where the data are not enough, like this case, where no indicator can provide you enough information. But this one can, because as you could see, you can literally start from first candle or fourth. In this case, we have to set it here because the wave starts from here. You may start from here. Nothing wrong about it, but truly you can see that this is one tiny leg up, which I'm ignoring, and this is the main leg one. So if you want to go at a very micro level, then say this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. It's not a problem. So if you set it here, then you get a support for this one. If you set it here, then you get a support for this one. What you can do is then this is of course a reference to this one. Now, because second leg is created, what I would do is I would move this reference point from here. When you do that, then naturally the support will go up over here, because this is what I want to do. So I change the reference point. It's not that I must change, but I can, because now my support is closer, and um, I'm tracking with respect to this wave. Remember, the supports are always with respect to the wave, always. Now you can select this as an immediate wave, then you get this one. So there is no rule which one you should select. What I'm trying to say is, if you select this leg level wave, this is a leg, then you get this support. If you keep it here, then you get support for the whole entire wave. That's the only difference, right? So it's not about what is right or wrong. It is about what you want. So I would personally prefer that, because I would track at a leg level. Then I would, because then my support will be closer, not so close, but close enough. So I could book profit, right? There are different strategies. So there's no hard rule. I'll continue with this setup where I moved this one. Now you can see that now support is um, following the price like this. It has gone up. Let us fine tune a bit, little adjustment. Then again, a little up and down. Don't worry about that. There's always some fine tuning here. And interestingly, you can set an alert. You can set an ad alert like this. My bad. Or in this replay mode, it won't provide you. So let me complete the replay mode. You see, this is the nice one. It touched the support. Here it also touched the support. And now we have to see if the candle closes. So you see, let me pause it. So before that, it touched the support here, but didn't break it. Here it closed above. So here I would stop out. Right. So if I enter initially 0.2, then I would get out. I would be out at this point. I'm talking about end to end. So this is my end of my trade, long one. And of course, if you want to reverse, I would have reversed from here. You see my point? Um, I mean, if I would have shorted, or I could be sidelining. But the point is that this has given the uh, trend level, resistance and support. Now this label is changed to resistance because the price is below. That's why. But I hope you got the point. Now I can end this one because this particular uptrend is covered. So now you know that it is right now going through the downtrend, and this is where it is. So now my goal is to find out, and just for curiosity, I want to know where it is right now. You see, if I change it to, so from with respect to this one, the support was broken and I am out. I booked my profit. But if I kept the support, I mean, starting point here, the trend is still up, which is amazing, right? Um, so those who think that, okay, my, because I entered somewhere here, I wanted to uh, keep my start point here. Then, of course, the support is lower, more conservative approach. In that case, that person would not exit here, right? Because the trend is still green and the support is here. So this is so beautiful. So if you replay, then you know that it is going to touch the support, and this is all touching the support, and it's not breaking, not yet. So this is, and I just wanted to see what value it gives, and this is so perfect. So this is a, so it's a choice, right? Where you want to give us. So there are 2 points. You can either keep, if you want a longer, if you want a shorter one, then you keep at the immediate leg. So this is the immediate leg. That's why you keep this one here. So that's a choice. Now let's say if it is here and this is a first leg down. Remember, first leg down. If it goes down from here, let's say support is broken, then that will be called second leg down, right? Very simple. So you know that if someone is having link, then at a quarterly level, if a very mega trend, right? If someone wants to know what is the support, then 5.5 is the support. That's how it is. So if you want to find out support and resistance at a very high time frame, you don't get it with RSI or MACD. You see that there's no data here. That's the point. But here you can get it, right? Even if you want to use, let's say, 50-day moving average, how would you do it? Because number of candles are only 25. Yeah, one can argue that what if I use 25? Then also you don't get anything. So what if I use 9? Of course, you will get something, but it may not be accurate. So point is, uh, here you have more accuracy. That's the point. Uh, it's dynamic in nature because you can set from where you want to start, right? You know that the wave is starting from here. That's why it's more accurate. So that's the beauty. Now, so this is pretty clear. Now, let's assume hypothetically that now from here it is going to go up, hypothetically. Then question is, what is the level where we can say that it is going to reverse. So now in that case, we have to find out, because now we are thinking that we want to see what is the level from where we will see a new leg, means that, let's say, another leg up, right? So let's say another leg up like this, if we want to imagine, then what is the level? It has to be somewhere here that it provides us. That is something. So you can see that. So now I would set it. So I want to find out resistance. Remember, so support part is clear that if it goes below, so this is a support mode. This is very important, right? If you want to find resistance, you have to switch it to resistance. And now you have to switch it to the where, from where the leg started. Remember, now it's the other way around. You want to find the resistance, you get the resistance, but you have to set the starting point from where the leg started. Okay. So the range, if you want to find the range, one can argue that this was a rejection and this is like consolidation. So there are 3-4 spikes. So if you just do like this, if you set it on 18, you get 16.24. And then if you set on the highest, you get 21.9. So you can get a band also, or range also, with this one, that between 16 and 21.9, which is, let's say, 22. This is a heavy resistance zone. If you want to find out the zone, then you can find out that as well. So because you can set it like this and say, okay, this is 16 to 22 is a heavy resistance zone, like this. I hope this is clear. If not, let me know. But we are setting at the highest one because this is the most conservative. But if I want to get a little early hint, that I can set it here, because we can clearly see that this is also part of the same, just a spike. And this is also a leg. So I'll say if it starts moving up above 16, then I'll get that confidence that, yeah, now it wants to really go for the new all-time high. But if I want confirmation, I have to set it here. Then on 22, I'll get confirmation. That's how it is. And this is it. Now, we have taken a couple of examples. We can take more examples, of course, and see how it works in the next few sessions. And depends on your question. Maybe I can take question and then, you know, go for it. RRM, do you want to ask any question at this stage?
Nope, I'm good, Mahir.
Okay. I mean, I didn't, there's no script. I just spontaneously spoke about this, right? And we might get some questions after listening to this video recording. And this is a new indicator. So obviously there can be scenario which I haven't covered in this session. And what I'll do is, once I get more question, I'll record another session like this and then redistribute. So that way we'll be able to cover all FAQ. But yeah,
Right.
yeah, good. So in this one,
Few things I've taken down few notes, Mahir. I think one of the, I mean, I really like it right now. I want to see what the community will say going forward, because I want to see what other people's questions are.
yeah,
First thing is, I was curious to see how I can identify the last candle, but I think that smart indicator which you put in, where it automatically shows you the last candle, the
yeah,
28, or that
yeah,
is really helpful, right?
yeah,
That's, you can easily move around and play around and see where you want to find your resistance, like what point the leg is going down
correct.
or inversal. So that is helpful. So I was taking some notes, and all my questions which I was like, oh, I want to ask these questions, but I think you already covered them. So
Sure.
that is good. The video really helps. Thank you.
Nice. So I'll take one more. So now H bar. Now you see, I haven't changed anything. So the pointer was set for link. Now, of course, pointer we have to set it for H bar. Correct?
Right.
Now, as more candles, you see the gray part here. That means the pointer is right now here. It's very simple to identify because the prior candles would be grayed out, right? So the purpose is not to look at this one. The purpose is to focus on the current one. That's the whole idea. Okay. Otherwise, you will take, oh, there is a false, this is up and down and up. What is this? Because we haven't set at the right place. That's why you see chaotic up and down thing. Okay. So
Right.
I'm purposefully keeping this view because this pointer was set for link earlier. So this is here. This is not the right level, as you know.
Correct.
So that's why you see chaotic thing. Our goal is to set it here. So this must be around 24.
24. Yeah, exactly. Around 24
There is
something.
some kind of guess, but
Yep.
it's not difficult. You can do it in a few seconds. So if you want to see, actually there are two legs. One, consolidation, and second leg. And you may actually see third leg. Actually, if you forget this one, so actually there are three. One, consolidation, two, consolidation, and three. Agree?
Right.
If because this is of course consolidation happening within this, but you can clearly see that. Maybe if you look at 2 week, you will have more usually. So this is a leg down, some consolidation, and then another leg down. The point is, the idea is you want to see the rejection point. See these are rejection point, and you want to set the rejection point to get the next level. So if this is the rejection point, this is the rejection point, agree? And this is the rejection points. Very
Yes.
simple to understand. So I can, if I want to know the immediate one, I can of course go down further, right? But this is the wave level, overall wave level, not just a leg level. I'm calling this as a leg, and I'm calling it as an overall downtrend or downside wave, right? Like this is like upside wave, and you can clearly see this is the first leg up, right? This is a second leg up, and this is not a third leg up in a true sense because this is in parallel. There's marginal higher level. So you may say third, but a tiny difference, right? Not a big difference. Similarly, so this is overall wave, like this is overall wave on the upside, this is overall wave on the downside. Agree? And but if you dissect, this is the first leg, second leg, and the third leg. Now this is the only thing you have to find out. Now if you want overall the ultimate resistance, this is the ultimate resistance. But if you want to know if you are here, if price is here, then you would like to set it here and see what is my immediate resistance. So I'll again do the, like I'm replaying here. What I'm doing here is when I would move this one to find out what is my required level. So I would definitely set close to this one or maybe here. Then
Correct. Mm.
let's say we don't know whether it's going to go down here. We don't know. But what we want to know is what is the level. If it crosses, then it will reverse. So this is the 0.871 was the case, right? And if you want to conservative approach, then you don't change this one. You keep it like this or on the top, right? If you want to keep it like this, then this will also change. But point is, this is the most conservative. But I'm personally interested to see by setting at a leg level, because I want early entry. That's why. Like on link example, if I set it to number 4 candle, I would not stopped out even currently, right? With that setup. But if I want to book profit, then I would have gotten out at $21. Correct? That's the idea. So similarly, if I want to get in, I don't want to set at a random place, but I want to set at when the leg starts. So you have two options basically. You start at a wave level, overall where the trend start, or you start at a leg level, or you may say segment of the wave. This is a segment. We sometimes call leg or segment, whatever. There can be many terms. So I'm setting. So this is, so if I continue to play this one, it might bounce, but we have to see if the bounce is good enough. If not, see it consolidating. And over here, we'll see if it could create another leg down. You see, it's creating another leg down here. So that means my reference point is now this. So I want to bring it down like this. Make sense? This is my reference. Now, what I'm saying to myself is, if it breaks above 0.68, then A2, then I'll get the reversal. Close up.
Yep. So you're always finding the resistance.
But yeah, so it is
But-
changing. In this case, it tried, but you see the candle level, it couldn't close it. So it's still red. So intra candle or intra time frame. So it tried to penetrate, but not quite break above. At this moment, right? This is a monthly candle. The month is not over. You know that. But what you get is the up. That means over here, this bounce was not good enough. Even this was not good enough. In between, it was the first green. It happened, but the month couldn't close above. You saw that. Here, again, it has turned into green one. Now, if the month closes above this one, then as per MDAWN, M bar has reversed on monthly. And if it is reversing on monthly, it's a big deal. Agree?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea, basically. And of course, you can always say now, let's say hypothetically, let's say month ends here, and then you get confirmation you are on 1st of September and you get a nice green candle over here. Let's assume price doesn't move and month ends and you are here on 1st of September. So that means technically I'm good to go long. And then you can always track a major one like this one by going back and say, what is the next major one? Say 0.99 means 0.1. And then what is the ultimate one from here, right? Then the ultimate one is 0.7. So it's not about what is right or wrong. It is about, this is the most conservative resistance you can say. And when you have setting at the nearest leg, then that is the immediate resistance. So that's the only difference. So immediate resistance versus the most conservative. So if you keep the start at the topmost, at the beginning of the wave, that is the most conservative resistance you get in this case. If you keep it at the nearest starting of the leg down, right, which is this one, then you get the immediate resistance. So that's the only difference. And this is how I would plan my trade. So I may plan that, okay, I got a start from this reference point. I'm just going beyond the indicator and going towards the planning. The indicator's job is done here. You set it here, you get this level. You set it here, you get this level. And if you set it at the most conservative level then you get this one. Now, how you do what you do is up to you, right? So that's not part of the training, but I'm just adding that one can think, okay, I have 3 levels. So what if I add my position at 3 different levels? What if I ramp up my position at 3 different? So that's a planning part, right? So I would not go into that because that's about trade planning. It's not about indicator. Indicator's job is over. Yeah.
Agree.
So-
Quick thing, Meher. I think you mentioned this would MDAWN is typically used when the assets has very less data, right?
Right. Yeah.
So should we keep that as a thumb rule? Like if there's anything we have enough data, we can just
Yeah.
use M swing, right?
Yeah. In fact, in M swing, yeah, exactly. So usually M swing would say not enough insufficient data. You would see that. That's why That's where you will turn into this, basically.
Oh, so even if you have more, then it says insufficient. Even if you have, I mean, of course, for less, it is good.
In this case, I'm not sure. It might say MSync will work in this case. So it does work.
Okay.
Yeah. So but if you go on a, let's say 2 month, 2 month, MSync might say, no, insufficient data. So you don't have a choice. So if this is the case, let's say, and MSync says insufficient data, then what you want to do is you want to, then you want to set it to your beginning.
18, 17. Okay.
Yeah, this is what you get. This is the range you will get. With this 2, you will get this range. So that's the resistance. So you can set it. So you get something where other indicator cannot provide anything.
True.
Now imagine a coin is listed recently, let's say today. You can actually go on 1 hour and use MDOM.
Wow.
Not just 1 hour, means it would of course limit number of candles, but point is on day one you can trade any asset where no other indicator can offer you. I mean, I'm not saying no other, sorry, my bad. What I mean, if somebody has developed something similar, of course he can. But the point is usually those moving averages, RSI, but in Japan, or so many MACDs and some known ones cannot do anything about it. So that's the whole idea.
Cool.
Okay.
I mean, very cool. I really like it. I'm just gonna rewatch the video one more time.
Yeah, sure.
Just because I missed few pointers, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I like the best part is like it's easy to use as well. Like if you want to switch from resistance to support,
Yeah.
in the drop down, right, where you have only 2 options, so
Yeah.
that's much easy to.
Yeah. And now just to complete my thought that now let's say it starts you get the green candle by setting it over here, which we'll do one more time to make it more clear, right? Just now it dipped just now, so that's why it red. Okay, because this is intra month, right? It was little higher, so that was green. That's why. Anyways, that's not a point. But let's say it turns green now, and if I enter, now the next question is, now I want to trail it. I can trail it initially like this by setting up my starting, which is, what is my start? This is my start, remember. Then this is a retest, so this is my start. Retest is my start. Okay, so in this case, this is my support. Now assume that it goes up, continues to go up, right? Then this will also go up with that. So one can trail for some certain time when it is having very little data. So this is so it doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you what is the support. So if you think that this is the start of the wave, okay, then this is the support. But you would like to check whether it has crossed the resistance or not by setting up here. In this case, not. It requires little more. Yeah. But if you want to say, okay, now this is a, if this could grow further, and if you start, so once you get confirmation on the resistance side, and then you move the pointer to here and then trail like this. I would not say do it now, because why? Because there's no confirmation on the resistance side. Like when you set up, you want to make sure that it is on it is very close. So it is very close. Sorry, my bad. It is very close, but not. So once it's green, let's say confirm green, then you move it to here, and then track it, because then it will provide you support that way, like this. You set it here, and then provide it. It will provide you support now also, but technically there is no confirmation that the resistance is broken. That's the only difference. Okay. But yeah, it can always provide this support when you set up here. This is like, so that's it, I would say. And of course, we'll wait for more question, and then I'll schedule more sessions to cover those questions. Thanks.
Nope, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to end the